Named in honour of the Hobart GRC president, who passed away in April of 2019, the Denise Fish Award is bestowed upon participants who, like her, are passionate, resilient, determined, and who work tirelessly towards making a positive difference in the greyhound industry. This year, the award goes to legendary racecaller Ron Hawkswell, the voice of the Meadows, who is recognised after a distinguished career in the sport spanning half a century.
The family always had an interest in racing, and we used to go to the races regularly every Saturday. Probably for 10 years we went every Saturday, whether it be to Moody Valley, Caulfield or Flemington. Sandown, I went to the first meeting at Sandown actually with the folks in 1964. But the interest really generated listening to guys like Bill Collins, who was of course calling for 3DB, Bert Bryant, 3UZ, and of course the ABC guys, Joe Brown and also Frank O'Brien. And people like that, it was that voice coming through when I was listening at home to their calls, the replays, etc. on my Astor transistor, that I really got the feeling that that was the type of thing I'd like to do. And then, of course, later in years in greyhound racing, listening to Murray and Wayne Kirby, father and son combination, as they broadcast the greyhounds from both Sandown and Olympic Park on radio station 3XY. So that's probably where it all generated from.
Do you remember the point in time from when you were interested in race calling to actually thinking this is something I might be able to do long term?
Well, probably it probably started in 6th grade at state school. I had to go out the front and do a phantom call actually of a hurdle race at Flemington. I did the last 400 metres of the hurdle race at Flemington, and along the similar lines the call of Bert Bryant's boy. So it probably started there. But the interest in race calling actually came from when I was going to the races with the folks, and we used to go regularly on a Saturday afternoon. It was a Saturday afternoon at Flemington. And of course the guys, Bill Collins and Bert Bryant, used to work at the back of the hill stand. That's where we used to go and watch the races. And Murray and Wayne Kirby were calling the races for back to the Channel 9 News at night. And Murray asked me to go and buy him a pie. So I went down and bought him a pie. And after that he said, would you like to stay up here and watch a race while Wayne did the calls back to for the night news at Channel 9. And that's probably where, that was probably the real driving force to me that, this is something I'd really like to pursue. When we started doing the qualifying trials at Olympic Park in Sandown, and going back to those days when we started doing those trials, Olympic Park for the heats of the Australian Cup, they used to run 64 heats of the Australian Cup of the qualies. It was done in 4 stages. It was done the elimination heat, the qualies, then the heats, the semis and the final in 4 stages, but I used to go out to Olympic Park and at times do the 64, the whole 64 trials. So that's probably where it started. And then my first break came at Cranbourne, 1974. The committee of the Cranbourne Greyhound Racing Club did a dress rehearsal for a course broadcast because they've been on TAB at Cranbourne. They said it hadn't opened in the early 74. And I went down and did the dress rehearsal. The Cranbourne committee gave me the position as the course broadcaster. I started there at Cranbourne on the 31st of August 1974. Yeah, some great memories there. Cranbourne was the starting point. It all went from there.
I know in this sort of race between all race callers, there's a lot of good camaraderie. Was there anyone that really took you under your wings through the early days of doing what you do?
I used to go to the Warrigal Dogs with Wayne Kirby, and we used to do the PA and also the local station 3UL Warrigal. And then in later years I became very good friends with Ian Sambleby at Shepparton. Ian did the Northeast programs, Shepparton and Wangaratta, and also he did the various meetings down here, 2 for 3 years at a time, so Geelong and also Cranbourne. And I used to go to Shepparton on a Thursday night and help Ian with the on-course and also the broadcast on the local station 3SR. Over the PA, I'd go up there and call one race number 9, and come back to Melbourne, drive back to Melbourne. But people, and there was people might say, oh, you must have been a nut for doing that type of thing, but you can't buy that sort of experience. You cannot buy it. Talking on the radio, it was a local station 3SR, and also over the PA. And going back to Sandown, the calls were relayed back to the betting ring at Sandown. That is the sort of experience that I thought was going to stand me in good stead. And he was a very good, and I really thank him very much for what he did there.
He's a very popular person, Ron. He made friends with trainers and people in the sport, administrators, and it's a wonderful award. The GCA acknowledge Denise Fish, who is a great friend of all of ours, who passed too early in life with cancer, and she made a sensational contribution to greyhound racing in Tasmania, president of the Hobart Club, and very much part of the Agra GCA family for a long period of time, Denise, and Ron knew her very well, and he'd be delighted to accept this award, and great acknowledgement for his long dedicated time as a race caller, and he's called a stack of Melbourne Cups and a stack of Australian Cups, and I know his favourite call is Tangan from Box 5 at Olympic Park in his very, very first Australian Cup, and if anybody ever has seen that run, you'll know why it was one of the super performances of all time to get up and win the cup from the yellow box, and Ron called it a treat.
Black Spats, Acacia Park is back at the tail, coming to the turn, 100 to go, and moving up on the outside, Katandra King. Tangan right on the outside, takes the lead. It's a local win.
I'm sure it's a much different sport from when you started to what it is now.
Absolutely, very much strictly controlled, and overall, the presentation of greyhound racing these days is right at the forefront, which is great to see. And probably my greatest thrill was receiving the Ken Carr Medal 2016-2017. To go to work and really love what you're doing and then be rewarded. For Ken Carr, I said I was very close friends with Ken and had a great affinity with Ken. He's a great man to work with, a great administrator, possibly the best greyhound administrator in the 3 Ks I've dealt with. Kenny Carr, and to be awarded that medal was a great thrill to be handed to by Martin Piccool, the Minister, and I dedicated that to my late mum and dad and Ellen, who gave me so much enjoyment in greyhound racing. It was an enormous thrill and something you never forget.
Is that the highlight of your career?
Absolutely.
Is there anything you haven't done in your career that you still think that's what I've got to do?
No, I'm pretty satisfied with what I've done. I've called all the big races, the Melbourne Cups and the Australian Cups. I've dabbled in the racing, the harness racing, done calling there over the years. So I'm very satisfied with the way things have panned out, and just it's been a great ride, and to watch these magnificent athletes compete the greyhounds. I just find it's a fantastic industry, a very family-orientated industry. That's the part that I think I enjoy, is going to work and having a chat with people and in conversation and that type of thing. That's the thing I enjoy. I love the people in greyhound racing. They're absolutely magnificent people. In fact, they're racing people overall. It's a great industry and great to be involved.
You've been doing it for decades. Do you ever think about retirement at all, or is it full steam ahead for the Hawk?
Well, it's always in the back of your mind, but whilst I'm in a position to do it and do it still, I think, to a pretty high level, I think I'll keep punching, but I'm pretty certain I won't catch Jack Storing's 50 gun BO Cups.